Hello. Good afternoon. This is lesson 69 for 4th grade, and it is about fractions of a second, comparing and ordering decimal numbers. So there's a second, 1/1000, but then a fraction of a second is smaller than a second. So it's like time it takes to blink your eyes, it's like a tenth of a second. Okay, so we're going to learn how to write and compare and order them from greatest to smallest or smallest to greatest in this lesson, okay? So I'm on page 349 if you want to read with me. It says fractions of a second are usually expressed as decimals, okay? Cecilia ran 100 meters in 14.6 seconds. So 14.6 seconds she ran 100 meters. So there's 110, 4 ones, 110, 4 ones, and 6 what? 6/10. So we can say 14.6 seconds. We can say 14 and 6/10 of a second, right? And then it says right here, it says Marlon swam 50 meters in 28.43 seconds. So 2 10s, 8 ones. 2 10s, 8 ones, 4 tenths. Oh, 3. Oh, it's not 4 tenths. What is it? 43 hundredths. So 28 and 43 hundredths of a second. Hundredths is smaller than if it was just tenths. Okay, let's move on and read it. So it says Cecilia's 100-meter time was 14 and 6/10 seconds. I see that. However, athletes often state their race times in a shorter way. Cecilia might say she ran 14.6 or even 14.6. If she runs 100 meters in 14.0 seconds, she might say she ran 14 flat. What is important to understand is that 14.6 seconds is more than 14 seconds, but less than 15 seconds. A tenth of a second is a short period of time. It's about how long it takes to blink your eyes. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Races time to 100th of a second are even shorter. Races time to 100th of a second are timed electronically rather than by a handheld stopwatch because a person with a stopwatch cannot react quickly enough to get an accurate reading. So a person with a stopwatch can't do it fast enough to be 100th of a second or a tenth of a second. There's an activity on the next page on 350 that says fractions of a second. I'm not going to do that, but if you want to do that at home, get a stopwatch or your mom's cell phone and the stopwatch on that. You can test your ability to see how close you can guess to what 5 seconds is. You can do that activity if you want to, but I'm just going to go on. Okay? So I'm going to go down to it says comparing and ordering decimal numbers. To compare decimal numbers, we need to pay close attention to place value. Place value. Where's the numbers in the place value? Okay? The decimal point separates the whole number part of a decimal number from the fraction part. So the whole number part from the fraction part. Okay? So it says compare 12.3 and 1.23. We can do that. All right. 12.3. We're going to compare it to 1.23. It looks like they're involved the same numbers, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but if you look at the place value of where they are, you will see pretty quickly which one is bigger, which one is greater. So it says the digits look different, lesson 13. Okay, so if we were to split this up into place value, this would be 12 and 3/10. This would be 1 and 23 hundredths, right? Because that's the 10th place, that's the 100th place. So what do you think is greater, 12 and 3/10 or 1 and 23 hundredths? Well, I'm thinking 12 is a lot bigger than 1. So, did you guys get the same answer? Yes. Okay, so we just look at the place value and that will help us out. How about our second one? Example 2, arrange these numbers in order from least, smallest, to greatest, biggest. Okay, so we have 1.02. And then we have 1.2. And then we have 1.12. So, all right, here we go. This is the ones place, tenths place, hundredths place. Ones place, tenths place, it only goes to tenths place, doesn't go to the hundredths place. Ones place, tenths place, hundredths place. So we start here. Where's our ones place? Ready? 1 in the ones place, 1 in the ones place, 1 in the ones place. They're all 1, so that doesn't help us. So now we go into the tenths and we compare the tenths place. 0 in the tenths place, 2 in the tenths place, 1 in the tenths place. What is the least, right? It wants us to order least to greatest. So what's the smallest? Is 0, 2, or 1 the smallest? 0 is the smallest. So this one is obviously the smallest. Because I didn't even have to go over to the hundredths place because just in the tenths place I can see that 0 is smaller than 2 and 1. Okay, so this is our least. Least, it's my L. Now we got this one out. What's next one? The tenths place, let's look at the tenths place again. 2 and a 1. What is least? A 1 or a 2? What's smaller? Is 2 smaller than 1? Or is 1 smaller than 2? 1 is smaller than a 2. So the next one is 1 and 1 and 12 hundredths because there's only 1 in the tenths place. And then we have our 2 in the tenths place, which is the greater number. 1.2. Or 1 and 2 tenths. So do you see how we line that up? 0, 1, 2. Okay, we didn't even have to go to the hundredths place sometimes. We just already knew that that number was least, so that's the order we put it. Okay? Okay. What is this next? Is that it? Oh, that's not a lot. How about we go to practice it? John ran 200 meters in 38.6 seconds. Okay? My point. You can see it. And then what? And then Juanita ran 200 meters in 37.9 seconds. Seconds? Wow. Which athlete ran faster? Okay. So I know that you want to think 38 is the bigger number, so he's faster. But you gotta think about it. This is our whole number, right? And this is our fraction of a second. So we start at a place value. That's what we look at. 3, that's the same. 8 and 7. And which is the bigger number? 8. But we want to know who ran faster. Am I faster or is Marcella faster? If Marcella runs to the store in 38 minutes it takes her to run to the store, but it only takes me 37 minutes to run to the store, then who was faster? The one with the less time. So these people were running these 200-meter races, and this guy, John, this guy took him 38 6/10 of a second to run. Not a second. Is it a second? What? Took him 38 6/10 of a second to run 200 meters. And it only took her, Juanita, 37.9 seconds. So who ran it faster? It took her less time to run it, so she was faster. You understand? Get that? How about the second one? B. Compare 3.21 and 3.2.1. So looking at it, just looking at it, can you tell which is greater and which is smaller? Just by looking at it? Yeah. So we have ones place, we have tens place, ones place, tenths place, hundredths place. So we look at here. 3 in the ones place, 2 in the ones place, but it has a 10. It's 32, and this one's only 3. So which one's greater? Do we even need to go on? 32 is much bigger than 3. So which is greater? 32 and 1/10 is much greater than 3 and 21 hundredths. Okay? Think you got it? Arrange these numbers in order from least to greatest. Let's do that last one. 2.4 and 2.04 And what's our last one? 2.21. Okay, so do we all have 2 in the ones place? Yup. So let's go to the next, the tenths place. Tenths. So we have a 4 in the tenths place, a 0 in the tenths place, and a 2 in the tenths place. Which is the least? 4, 0, or 2? 0. 0 is much less than 2 or 4. So this looks to be the least. Does it say least? Least to greatest, yes. 2.04, okay, done. And then we have 4 in the tenths place and 2 in the tenths place, which is the least, 2 or 4. 2. So this is our second least. Least to greatest. And then all we have left is 2.4. You see how 0, 2, 4 goes from least to greatest? Easy peasy?